Welcome to the Lost Lowdown Podcast 183 with your hosts, Claude and Justin.
What's up, guys?
We're back, continuing our Season 5 commentary series with episode 514, The Variables.
Oh no, I forgot the variables.
Don't forget the variables. Every equation needs variables. Every math student knows that.
They're so important, aren't
Yeah.
they? Because they change.
Variable plus constants equals equations.
That's an equation.
That's it. What?
Whoa! You just blew my mind.
Yeah, it's a
That was some meta math right there.
Meta math. There you
Nice.
go. Metamath.com, everybody.
Go there.
Go there and something will happen.
We just started it.
It's a new thing. By the time
The internet sensation sweeping the nation.
Also, go to rhymingwords.com. And dogbark.org.
Yeah. Apparently the dog agrees.
All right,
Disagrees.
so
Who knows?
we're at the
Barks
part
me.
of season 5 where it's all coming down to some very shoddy plot points. And
Ever so shoddy.
And now we're coming to the point where, okay, so Dan is returning from Ann Arbor, the most exciting city he could have been in ever. I love that. Ann Arbor. No offense to Michiganders.
All of our Ann Arborians
I know.
in the audience.
I know. Our
It's
Patreon.
fine. I've been there. It's a nice place.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with it. University of Michigan. Great school.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with it.
Does anyone call it Unimish?
Yes.
Good. Right answer. Someone's done their improv homework.
Everyone says that. Yeah, you going to Unimish?
Unimish?
Yeah.
Yep.
I love your new Unimish shirt.
Does Ann Arbor have a harbor?
No.
Okay. Hey, we asked the hard-hitting questions here in the Lost Lowdown.
I don't think they have no. I don't think there's a big enough. Wait, did you say harbor or arbor? Are you thinking of Han Harbor?
No, I said harbor.
Okay. All right, because Han Harbor has an arbor, but Ann Arbor doesn't have a harbor.
If Ann Arbor has a harbor, but Han Harbor doesn't have an arbor, how many woodchucks would the woodchuck judge? Yikes. I don't know what Han Harbor is. What's that? What'd you say?
It's not really a thing. It's what you get when you put an H in front of Ann Arbor.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I thought I was learning.
Yeah, sorry.
Just wasting.
I have nothing to teach but nonsense. That's what I tell my students all the time.
Yeah, well, listen. That's what school's for. Also support your public schools.
Exactly. It's important. Education is important, kids. Learn that nonsense. Learn it well.
Yep. So Dan comes back from Ann Arbor. That was the cliffhanger from the last episode. He's back, everyone. You forgot he left, but now he's back.
He was. It really is just it's like we put him in timeout because his plot wasn't ready yet. Because
he was cooking.
As soon as exactly. He was in that pot. It was slow simmers, one of those crock pot things where you had to cook all day. You come back 9 hours later and it's like, oh look, it's burned.
Oh look, it's burned. I had the wrong setting. Oh no, it's burned. That's the best result.
That's what happens with crockpots. I'm just saying.
It just burns.
You just leave it because you're like, oh, I can cook. It cooks forever, and I never have to look at it.
Is that where crock of shit comes from?
Exactly. It's a crock of shit.
Yeah, you start out. It's a meal. It's a potential meal for later, but then you come back and it's a crock of shit. That's how that works.
Yeah, no, totally. I 100% believe that etymology.
So we got Dan coming back. I guess that's interesting.
Yeah, that was the cliffhanger at the end of the last. Hello, I'm back, Miles.
And I figured it all
Good
out.
to see you again. What am I up to?
Yeah.
Don't you want to know, America?
Oh man, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, this is definitely that era of like weak. I mean, no offense. I don't know why I'm worried about offending Lost now.
Who are
but
you offending?
it's like, I'm not even sure who that no offense is for. But anyway,
Yeah.
just to say, this is the era of Lost where I think, if you think back to like some of the greatest, like, the cliffhangers, the whole like lock thing, or,
Mhm.
banging on the door and the light comes on, like that was
Mhm.
awesome. I
Mhm.
mean, even the original, like when they find the hatch, or like Ethan, or notice everything's from season one all of a sudden. I'm just saying, no, we have to go back,
Yep.
great cliffhanger, much
Yep.
later one. They had like a fair number of those where it was like, oh shit, you want to watch the next one because it was such a crazy ending. And yeah, it just seems like in the late stage of the show, they, I don't know what it is, if it was about the writing style or something, but they just kind of de-emphasize that.
Mhm.
Maybe they just thought like we don't need a cliffhanger hook anymore. Like basically we have our audience as it is, and they're not going to leave, and it's sort of a core. They'll follow us whether we give them a crazy cliffhanger or not.
Mm.
But I do think that the cliffhangers just become very weak. It's just like, oh, Dan's back, like big cliffhanger. Like I feel like they do the same literally same thing with Desmond in season 6.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
like the
whoa,
cliffhanger is only as big and interesting as the plot point, right? And so I think that's just an issue with the plot points not being that interesting at this point.
yeah. Maybe that's the biggest problem. But
Yeah.
I feel like they are also not. So like the thing about the hatch, or we have to go back, is that it also adds a twist. It's
Mhm.
not just
Mhm.
like this thing happened, but there's this extra layer of uncertainty that's put on top of what's already like kind of a surprise.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
feel like that's the thing that isn't happening anymore. Like they just stop with like, it would be like, oh, it's a flash forward,
Yeah.
you know, or Locke just bangs on the thing and that's it. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like that would be the equivalent of like how they write it now. Like they don't put in an extra thing to intrigue you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I kind of miss that because it just the endings just start to feel lackluster. Like it used to be so exciting when it'd be like Lost, oh shit,
Mhm.
wow. Or the Michael thing with Anna Lucy and Libby, like that was a
Mhm.
shocking moment. That was
Mhm.
like our first podcast. Like that was a huge thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, oh, a guy came on a sub, like okay,
Mhm.
like
Yeah, I think they're
why
supposed
is that
to.
so
I
exciting?
think it's supposed to connect to the beginning, the episode of this season, right?
Right,
So it's
true,
like they're supposed. I think they're trying to
true.
make us connect to that. Like, oh, okay, wow. But it's like we kind of forgot that. So
Yeah,
at this point,
yeah. Yeah, and I feel like they just, they put Dan off screen for so long. It's just like, I don't know. I've lost interest, I guess,
hmm
and also there's nothing to go on. Like again, if they added something, like what is interesting about the fact that he's back? Like,
yeah,
tell me something. What did
yeah,
he do there? What's going on? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's why it's just too vague. That's why it's just like, ooh, Desmond. Wow. You're just supposed to be excited about a character,
hmm
which like cool. I like, the character. Sure, good character, but like, I mean like when Kramer walks in the door in Seinfeld, it's not like, wow, it doesn't blow your mind. It's like,
Tell it to the
cool.
audience.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it depends on how much you like Kramer, I guess. But like,
I like that. That was your
it
comparison.
was the first thing that came to mind. I feel like that's the lost version of like slide in the door, like, oh, who has man hands?
Yeah, yeah. Man hands equals Ann Arbor. Got it.
Exactly. Like, oh, what's going on here on the island in the 70s? Like, I'm here to check it out.
Yeah, the other part of this whole thing of Dan going off island in the 70s is I felt like they didn't have any conversation for the audience about what it was like for him to
Yeah.
be living in the 70s.
There could have
And
been a whole episode about that.
yeah,
If they cared. If
yeah.
it mattered, where they
Yeah,
actually like followed what he was doing there.
it would have been nice to see him actually come up with the variable idea in Ann
Hmm.
Arbor, maybe or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
a
That's
whole
where it
thing.
starts to feel like rushed and it definitely gives me like a little bit of Game of Thrones vibes in terms of like underdeveloping character arcs
Hmm.
and not showing the audience enough to get you invested in the thing that you're gonna now suddenly say the character is invested in.
Ouch.
You know what I'm saying?
Someone's bitter.
Hey, I'm not bitter. I mean,
I'm just holding a grudge.
yeah, that's different
That's
somehow.
completely different. Yeah, I remember this episode not being so great, this whole thing with the variables and Dan, speaking of Game of Thrones, starts out as a really, really interesting character, and then by the end, he's kind of like lackluster. So that kind of reminds me of Game of
Yep,
Thrones.
definitely.
And I think this is the last big thing with Dan, like being a disappointing character, because he has this whole idea, and it proves out to be like mostly wrong,
Yeah.
sort of something, but mostly wrong.
A
And
thing happens, but
a
it
thing
is not remotely what he had in mind.
yeah, and it's curious why they didn't just make him be right, and this
Yeah.
goes back to his experiments on the island when he first gets there.
Oh God.
Like the idea of using science and it like just doesn't work, and he's
Mm-hmm.
still trying to use science and it doesn't work, and I guess that's a point. It's like I guess that's a point.
Begrudgingly, we'll call it
Yeah,
a point. Yeah,
yeah, yada
sure.
yada yada. It's about life. So
Yeah, blah blah blah. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, we've heard that before.
got it, got it.
What else you got this week?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when characters don't actually accomplish goals. Because we
Yeah,
have so much of that in our real lives. It's hard to watch that in fiction.
right.
You know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So let's see how this goes.
Yeah, I mean, hey, what could go
Yeah.
wrong?
I definitely remember. I think it was better than Some Like It Hot from my memory, but I have not seen this in a long
Yeah,
time.
I thought it was too, if only because, it deals with certain things that are more interesting on a basic level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it has less like filler nonsense.
There should have been a shot in this episode where Hurley goes and mails off his Star Wars script,
Yeah, yeah.
and it just says it says like to George Lucas, Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah.
No address. It just says
Like
Hollywood.
crayon.
Oh, the R's backwards. Oh, Hurley. Oh, Hurley. Eat them peanut butter.
It's that
dude.
childlike wonder that
Yeah, makes us hate him.
makes him so innocent and
Yeah.
an ideal candidate, if you will.
A canine to date? A candy date?
Why is he gotta be okay? What? It's getting weird. Why is this
Sorry, I don't know why. I was trying to make it mean more than it
adding shit to the
does.
candidate?
Candida date? Canine to date. God, don't remind me. Hurley's the leader of the island at the end of the show.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
who better to sit on the Iron Throne but Hurley the
Yeah.
Broken?
Yeah. Spoiler alert for Game of Thrones. You've probably seen it if you're listening to this.
I feel like I technically didn't give it away. I just gave away a phrase.
Yeah. I generally agree with that statement. But yeah, so yeah, let's get into the variables.
Yeah, come
Let's
on.
deconstruct this
Bring on that
equation.
X and that Y and that
There's
Z.
so many X's and Y's and Z's, which are the only 3 letters you can use in a
What else
calculator.
is there? I mean, there's like 3 variables.
There's only 3. You, me, and us, the variables.
Oh.
Yeah. See how that works?
Wow.
See how that works? It's
But
so
wait,
simple.
but wait. You plus me equals us. No. Yeah.
There it is.
So us isn't
Us
a
minus-
well, it's a dependent.
Us minus you equals me.
Oh no. Oh
Yeah.
no, you're doing
You can do all
algebra
the-
now.
Yeah, you can do all
Oh,
the
shit.
properties. Yep. It works that way.
Math will solve loss someday. And everything else.
We're trying to make it. All right, let's get into some variables.
All right, let's do it.
All right, everybody, get your players ready if you're going to sync up with us for some the variables.
One variable. But yes.
Oh, the variable.
The variable. I think, right?
The
It's like the constant, like the constant,
constants.
the
There was
variable.
2 constants.
Yeah, I know.
There was Penny and Dez.
Yeah, well.
They're both constants.
Well.
Is it constants like the name?
Uh-oh.
Maybe it's not variables. Maybe it's variables.
Ooh.
Got some Game of Thrones in there. We love our listeners because you put up with a lot.
You really do. You really do.
Yeah.
You made it this far. Congratulations.
Yeah. I mean, the perseverance you all have displayed is nothing less than superhuman. I think it's going to be 10 years Lost has been off the air next year. Is that right?
Yep,
is that the right
that's
math?
right.
Yep. So I think we'll be done with this commentary series in time for that 10-year anniversary.
So.
Yeah, so that's.
I think
so does that mean it took us 10 years to do the commentary series?
That is what that means.
Because yikes.
Yep.
It took us 10 years to do 6 seasons.
That's how it worked out. Yeah.
All right,
Not to like get into the math, but yeah.
No. Hey, we have lives. We've got lives.
Lives. People have lives. You live lives.
Lives to live.
One lives to live.
That sounds like a good name for a TV show.
It does. I just made that up. I love it.
Write that down. Trademark that shit.
Oh my God.
Dude.
Where's
Money.
Get me a pen.
Jesus,
Gonna roll, and they're gonna throw money at me.
So much money, you'll have to go to the hospital. Some sort of general hospital.
Ouch! I need the money for my hospital bills.
I've just done it. General hospital.
Oh!
We're both rich.
Oh my God, we can combine the two. Can we do a crossover? Cross-platform. Okay.
Cross-pollination. Cross trainers. Yeah, let's do it. We got all the crosses. Holy Cross. Holy Trinity.
Red Cross.
Crisscross. Yeah.
David Cross.
Hot cross buns. Cinnamon buns.
Why do we have buns now?
I don't really know what we were doing. So I thought there were no.
No, it made sense until you said that.
Well, you said crisscross, and then I said
hot cross buns.
Yeah, that was the cross there.
Yeah.
And so now the word became buns.
But now you're on bun. Oh, okay. We're just like freely. Okay, got it.
You take one. That's how I understood the game.
Okay.
You took one of the words.
Okay. Chelsea buns. Learned about that from the British Bake Off.
Oh, that's a thing.
That's the thing.
I thought that was a Chelsea Clinton reference.
Actually, I think Chelsea buns, if I remember right, are basically just cinnamon rolls. Sorry.
Of course they are.
No offense.
Why would they be anything different?
They're basically the same.
Chelsea buns.
But that's what they call them. I think I have the right one. Yeah.
But they're like cinnamon rolls you eat at tea time. So
Exactly. Yeah. You must have them with tea.
Must with tea.
If you don't have them with tea, you'll be instantly deported.
What if tea was like
From the
really
Empire.
bad for you?
What if?
Haven't you read the UN report on the horrible effects of tea? Yeah, just thinking how many people around the world drink tea. And,
It's huge. Yeah, no, it'd be
really
a problem.
lot.
Yeah,
It's like the official beverage of the world.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah,
out
no.
water.
Mm-hmm.
Is water a beverage? Does that count?
I think it depends on who you ask and what beverage means, but I'm gonna say yes.
Another French word?
Yeah, of course.
Beverage.
So by age at the end.
Yeah.
That's a
I've been
French
really
thing.
good at identifying French words. There's a particular.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear when a word has that French origin because it's spelled
Yeah.
strangely.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the number one tell.
Yeah. They have that way of making words, and it stands out from because the other words are mostly like German origin, and they have a totally different approach to spelling, which is usually to say more straightforward and like you say what you see.
All right, the variable.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Everybody, get your players.
Yeah,
get players.
The cool thing is we could edit all that out, but we won't.
We really could. It would be so easy.
We have
with
power.
the click of a mouse, it would be gone, and then you wouldn't have heard it. Just now.
We could have saved you the trauma, but no one saved us from the trauma.
Yeah, who's gonna save us?
Who's saving us? Nobody. Except for the variable. All right, here we go.
And the segue. See, from podcast number 1 all the way to podcast 183, we're still on the puns. Or is it 184?
Listen,
what are we on?
Talk about the constant, right? Which is not what we're talking about. But
Whoa! yeah. It's relevant though, because without constants, what are variables? You know.
So what's the variables of the Lost Lowdown?
Good question.
Yeah.
Let's see. What changes? Yeah.
Because intellectual discussion,
time,
and hilarious jokes are the constants.
Political like references or pop culture references. Those are variables.
The quality of the puns.
Quality of the podcast recording method.
Yep.
That's a variable. The distribution method.
I feel like the history of podcasting is somehow encapsulated in the changing audio quality of our podcasts.
Yeah, definitely.
You can like chronicle based on how we recorded and the quality over time. You can chronicle, parallel that with how the podcasting industry went.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, it was. I mean, when we started, like, it was a lot. Most of the podcasts that I listened to, which were mostly casual ones back in the day, like if they had more than one person, they would be in the same room, and it was tricky to not have that most of the time. I mean, we did a couple like that, but mostly.
Yeah, I mean, we were really pioneers in the podcast subgenre of recording in different locations, and it was a tough call because it was easier for us to be in the same location, but because we wanted to be avant-garde, we specifically decided.
Speaking of French.
There's nothing French about avant-garde.
Avant-garde.
There's nothing French about that whatsoever. All right, the variable.
The final segue.
Yeah.
Oh man, no, seriously, that's gonna happen one day. It's gonna be sad.
The final segue? Wow, you're right.
Yeah.
Wow, the final segue. Now I'm sad. No more segues.
I know. I mean, not yet, but 2020 maybe.
I think somehow, if we're smart and if we're lucky, we'll somehow have the final segue be something that segues to podcast number 1. So you can listen to all the Lost Lowdown in a loop.
Oh, those of you that have the loop theory, you were on the right track. You knew it was going to come back.
Yeah, what goes around comes around with the loop theory.
Of course. And, Lost, same way, right? Starts with Jack's Eye opening, ends with Jack's Eye closing.
Yep.
Full circle. Boom.
Yep.
Podcast complete. Wow.
There it is.
Wow.
Where is our Peabody Award?
Just blew it open. We need a Peabody.
So let me take a second to laugh at Peabody because I've never heard that before.
That's how you say. I don't hear it. It sounds normal.
I don't hear it. What don't you hear then?
I can't hear the difference.
If you can't
I'm just saying the word.
Then how do you know there's a difference?
Because of your reaction. Like, I don't know what you're reacting to.
What are you referring to? A Peabody.
Peabody.
Yeah, that sounds like some sort of the state or quality of something. The Peabody.
The Peabody. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
The state or quality of Peebus or Petus or something. Peebudus. Hey, I didn't say it'd be a great word. I was just trying to deconstruct it here. All right, the variable.
Okay, it's like a sketch now. It's like, holy shit.
I feel like at this point, like we just can't actually get to the actual episode. We just have to keep going this way.
How long can we?
Yeah.
Keep this going. Oh my god!
I feel like we're being like held hostage somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Like you gotta keep vamping. You can never start the episode.
Yeah, some sort of podcasting hell or something. It's just you never get to start. Maybe that's the hell for our listeners.
No!
Is the endless segue?
Oh no!
Preamble. Yeah.
Wow.
There it is.
Wow. Speaking of French again, it's like a no exit thing.
There it is. No exit.
Hell is the endless segue.
Segway's French.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh man, it's like a weird thing. It's like everywhere you look, there's a French word.
Yeah, no, it's huge. It's like I think 40 to 50% of English vocabulary, something like that. Mm-hmm. That's a large amount.
How about that?
Yeah, not the grammar, but definitely the vocabulary. It's huge.
Mm-hmm. All right, the variable.
Oh, it's a punchline now. Yeah, the variable, right, right.
Yep, that's how you know we're not gonna start.
It's guaranteed not to happen.
Yeah.
No, seriously. We're gonna do it, aren't we? It's time. Is it time?
Yeah, I think this is when we have to really do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Here we go, the variable.
Okay. I'm ready.
Get your players ready, everybody. Like, our players have been fucking ready.
Oh no, they're standing there with their finger like right in front of the button the whole time.
Like any second now.
Wait a minute. No. After this one. Okay, here it is. Wait. They're still talking.
Clearly, they're gonna stop any second now with this endless vamping. It's not like someone is holding them hostage with a gun in their head. That couldn't be plausible. Gotta love it.
Oh my god.
All right.
Okay.
The variable.
Woo, the variable. Oh my god. Okay. Woo. Yeah, the variable. Let's do it. I got my player ready.
I feel like Louis Spoonwell is like smiling in his grave somehow. This is like the exterminating angel where it's like, but it's like for us, we can't quite leave this intro, and like neither one of us wants to like move on to the next part.
Right.
Out of like social politeness or something.
Right. Yeah. Like
great movie if you haven't seen it.
Force field like keeping me from clicking the mouse button to start the episode.
The variable.
No. Okay. There we go. How did we not start it just then? We were gonna start it.
We were so close to starting.
That was the beginning of the episode right there.
Yeah, let's start it now. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Ready? Figure out was.
Make it fast.
4, 3, 2, 1. Previously on Lost.
Right. Whoa.
What's up? I'm in a suit. There's a sickness around here, brother.
Her name is ...
Short for Dorothy.
Wait, do we know she's... I forget. When did they reveal... No, we do know, right? Or do we?
Yeah, we should know.
We do
that.
know. Okay.
Yeah.
When did we find out,
milk!
though?
He shot the milk!
He got the milk! The milk saved him.
Don't cry over that spilled milk.
Oh!
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, this is the episode now.
This is it.
This isn't previously on anymore.
No, we're done. He is.
He will be. He's way too important. He's got to go do something with the plug or something. Because electromagnetism.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
What's the name? Do you know the name for that thing? Of shifting the focus from the foreground to the background? Is there a name for that?
Racking focus.
There it is. Yeah. Little racking there. Oh dear.
I love that line.
It's great. It's logical.
It's the most, yeah. Who?
Okay, cool.
Wait, that wasn't them telling us that that's Dan's mom, right?
I think it is. I think we didn't know. I think we didn't know.
No, we didn't know.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I was like, when did they reveal it? I think there was no moment when they did.
Wow, okay.
Oh, wait. No, Desmond goes to look for her.
Yeah.
So we did know. We did know. Right? Okay, so it's not a reveal.
Sorry, in the Constant, right? He finds that in the Constant.
No. That was season 4. We
don't have time.
It's that episode when Desmond does his thing. I forget which one that was.
I think it's called Desmond Does His Thing.
Desmond Does His Thing, the episode.
Whoa.
How'd you do it? What'd you do? How'd you do it? Gotta know what you did.
It's like jazz scat.
It's like, you got there. Why are you singing me a song? Calm down. Go, come out with it.
This is part of the variable. He needs.
Jack's answer is really going to help.
Mm-hmm.
We got on a plane and there was a deadlock there.
Yeah, what does he know about his mother's relationship to the island?
I have no idea. I don't remember this scene.
Oh, this is great. Oh, this is great. He was wrong.
So wrong. So wrong. What a teaser. Interesting.
Wow. I did the equation. Mom equals wrong.
So true.
Oh, this is great. Someone's always crying in this family. Daniel, your playing is atrocious.
Sounds like you threw up on the keys and then cleaned it up poorly.
You didn't even clean it up right. So, I'm trying to remember how this plot works.
What was that episode where Desmond did his shit. I wish I remember.
You
which
mean
one that was.
the second part that Desmond does his thing?
You know, the one that starts with like the baby being born, you know, and he's like, "Where's Ephraim Salonga?" You know, like that one.
I don't remember.
Oh boy.
How are you counting beats? And
Yeah, that makes no sense.
music has nothing to do with mathematics.
No, nothing at all. There's literally no connection there. If there was, I would know about it. For I know everything.
So somehow she knows the future, right? What's happening?
Yeah.
here?
It's because of the notebooks.
Why does she already? Oh, she has it because she's left the island since.
She already killed him.
She already killed
That's
him.
what's weird. Like, he's already dead.
Yeah.
Sort of.
It's interesting because I could see. Yeah, that's the thing about whatever happened is it makes this closed loop where the result doesn't really influence the beginning because it already influenced the beginning. So
Right.
Yeah, I hate this type of storytelling where it's like I can't talk and there's no time to talk. I gotta leave the scene. I can't talk right now.
Right.
But,
yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah, they do that a lot on Law. It's like a huge thing. It's
Yeah.
like dodge certain questions. Okay, the episode I was thinking of was Jughead. Just for the record.
Oh yes,
that's the one where
that's the one he realizes that. Yeah, he sees his mom there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you?
Ooh.
Busy getting busy.
Look, I got the guy from Mulholland Drive in a closet.
Oh, that's right. With the tape.
I remember being really glad this was happening because it's like, this Dharma thing is over finally.
Yeah.
What, you knew it was going to happen? Or, like, that's just a schedule?
This is the schedule, yeah.
Okay. Like, what is that notebook? Like, is that the schedule?
This is everything.
Did he write, like... Okay, like, wait, hold on. How did you... Wait, hold on. He didn't go to the past yet. I don't get it.
This is... No.
What is the shit he wrote down? What is he looking at? But yeah, this is circling back to the beginning of the season right here. God help us all. Oh, he's not British.
Yeah, God help us all isn't quite the world will end, but, you know.
Does he know... Do they know each other? Is he trying to, like, hide out?
I don't think we know Dan's experience.
Yeah, they didn't really tell us.
In Dharma, so. That's the
Oh, now he's just gonna talk to him. Why were you hiding?
Oh, you know why he was hiding? Because of the opening of the season.
The opening. That's it.
Wow.
Right.
Wow, that was really contrived.
See, okay, they could have shown this at the beginning. Like, that would have been a bigger cliffhanger.
Yeah, but then we would have known that Dan and Pierre have this relationship.
That's true.
Because originally the scene plays out like, how did Dan get there?
Or something. Like, yeah.
Oh, interesting. He calculated how much more energy is there.
I went to Oxford. You know, I mean, like the button's annoying and all, and it does make like a plane crash and maybe some other shit happen, but like ultimately they pulled the failsafe and it was cool. Like, right? I mean, is it really
But see,
that
I
bad?
think this is again why they should have had the Losties coming to the past mean something. So it could be like, because Dan has all this crazy stuff to say, they decide to put in a failsafe. Like I know they talk about the failsafe later, but
yeah,
it'd be nice if it was like, oh, because of this idea, you know.
right.
And so he's, oh wow, I remember liking
Now
that.
maybe, oh god,
I remember liking that they had the audacity just to like cut to the chase.
yeah.
And it's interesting that he's like, we're gonna do time travel. This isn't time travel. Like,
yeah.
no, Dad, it's not true.
Yeah, so I guess he's manipulating him. I guess it's not.
But see, like, he doesn't know.
Like maybe what he's saying isn't supposed to be true. Like he doesn't even believe it. It's just that he's gonna like detonate the bomb. So that's why he wants.
Yeah, I
everyone
hate
to
this
leave.
type of storytelling with this type of going time travel, where it's like, I gotta make the thing happen that already happened.
Right.
Well, how do you know how to make it happen?
Right. So you can tell he's younger because of the hair.
Yeah, his hair's different, so he's younger. His face looks exactly the same, though.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't like you. There were 2 reasons. This wig. So this is the Teresa he gets, he hurts, right?
Yeah. She ends up in some kind of coma or something.
Mm-hmm. And then he names a rat after her, right?
No, he names the rat Eloise.
Oh, the rat was Eloise. Oh,
yeah.
well, a therapist would have a lot to talk about there.
Indeed.
This is something I'd like. It's kind of annoying that when someone has time traveled, you put them on this pedestal of like, it must be super important. Because time travel is such a crazy thing.
Yeah. I kind of felt that way about the Locke thing. Like it was like they believed, the others believed he was a leader just because he time traveled.
Yeah, because he effectively did magic. So
yeah. You know.
Did we know he was his dad?
I think we didn't know that part. I think maybe that's the reveal. Like I think it was implied by the Jughead episode.
Yeah.
Because they showed the two of them together as others, you know, on the island, but I think we didn't know for sure that he was going to be the father. And like, also, how did you develop this accent?
Who?
Just while we're at it.
Yeah. Yeah, why does he have an American accent?
He's like, there's no indication to me that he was raised anywhere other than the UK.
Yeah.
So I just don't get it.
Yeah, because when he was a kid, I guess the scene when he was a kid, he had an American accent too.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I kind of didn't catch it.
Me either.
So did she write that? Because that's what was in the original?
Yep. Because she has it, yeah. Yeah.
So then she never
wrote
it. Oh,
I know what to write. Exactly. It's like the compass.
It's the compass.
There's no origin.
I would have loved to see her write something different just to see if it was possible.
Yeah.
Physically possible. Phil, nobody cares about him, so like 3 weeks.
Ouch.
Yeah, here's this thing where like, oh, we gotta leave, but like, what was the reason we all came back to the island?
I know. Yeah, I think they lost that.
No. I think it's Dr. Twitchy.
How did you get here? Are they really that hard to find?
It's a big island.
And another one's my father.
And yeah. Why did you finish that? Oh, he's not gonna say it. What did he say?
He said she can get us back where we belong.
But she was wrong the fucking first time.
I know, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I can only assume it's manipulation.
And it's like well, why do we
he's
come
saying is
back
bullshit.
why do we come back if she can get us to leave? Like
Here's the explanation for the crying.
Which is what?
You ready for it? Here it comes.
Did I miss it? Oh, is that it?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. It would have been cool if there were more moments like that in his life, and it would have kind of made more sense.
Yeah, and they had this weird thing with like where like Charlotte was showing him these cards and like he couldn't remember things.
Yeah, that
and, like
was,
I feel like that's
weird.
I don't even understand why that happened.
Maybe it's like the Desmond thing where he creates a new memory for Desmond. So these weird things where maybe it's supposed to tie into that.
No, I definitely think it is because, like, in the Constant, like, he has that thing in his book, you know, Desmond will be my constant. It kind of implies that he might be going through the same thing Desmond is.
Mm.
Though that never really matters.
Okay, so Dan's in this state because this is recent to the Teresa tragedy.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay, this is helping me understand what's happening here. Never mind that deception I put on television.
Yeah. Oh, that's just a plane that I planted in the ocean.
And like he doesn't know his dad was on the island and his mom's on the island, right?
Yeah. Not yet. Wow. Because I put it there.
I put it there.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's
have him just walk in like, oh yeah, that thing you're looking at on the news, that was me. Oh, he's like mementoing him.
He's having totally Carrie Ann Moss memento him. So why is he even talking to him at all if he's gonna forget if he's gonna forget all of this, or just the convenient bits?
Yeah, kind of how it seems.
Yeah, so Dan's just having general memory issues, huh?
Yeah, apparently that's what they want us to believe. I don't really get why, but
it seems to imply that he was testing the machine on himself too.
He did say that, yeah.
Okay,
I guess that's true. So maybe that's supposed to be the reason.
Yeah. Heal me from what? I forgot. Because I'm your father? Oh.
And
I don't buy that.
And well,
oh, he doesn't know that's his dad. Oh, Jesus
no, he
Christ.
doesn't.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's a reveal.
That's right. Wow.
Your mother is the other?
Wait, but we know, but he doesn't know?
I don't even think we know.
Okay.
I don't even think we know at this point. Yeah.
There we go.
You ain't going nowhere.
Ouch.
Ooh, sick burn.
Jack, the doctor, gets a second opinion.
Yeah, I'll decide when she can talk or not, okay?
It's the 70s. He's that power. H.G. Wells, he's a big reader.
It's true. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Take Dan to the hostiles to do what? To talk to his mom.
Yeah, she's got to get them back where they belong.
Shouldn't they all go then?
Well, I mean, maybe he can find out enough and then, like, bring them all with him later or something. I don't know.
Dan's like, this is my stop. Because we were dead the whole time. Is Juliet the only person to ever live in the barracks twice?
I mean, maybe Ben sort of counts.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
Like he moves back in later.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh no!
Oh no!
Not your chocolate!
Oh dear!
Not before bed.
She has a chocolate bar.
Not before bed. Bye. Why are you a bad little girl? And that's the first thing you tell us. She's like guilty. The authority figure comes over and she's instantly guilty.
True. You're a creepy old man.
Why does he think this is a good idea?
I don't know.
Like, why even tell her?
This is like whatever happened, happened. The leaving is what makes her want to come back.
Mm-hmm. But I was wrong.
But I was wrong.
But maybe I can. But
yeah, that's a clue.
But how do you know you're even changing anything?
Yeah, exactly. He's not.
He's the wrong one. Like mother, like son.
Yep. Exactly.
The wrong family. That's a lot of goes in a row. Yeah, Rosinski, classic Rosinski.
Yeah. He's just like holding that.
He forgot. It was 2 seconds totally and he forgot.
He has to gesture with his hands.
Like, why are they so? Why is he so gun trigger happy? What's Rosinski's deal here? Like, what? Why is he so suspicious of a Dharma person who just came on the sub? Like,
I have no idea.
Huh. It's like A-team actions here.
Yeah, what is this? Like, why? Why did it turn into this all of a sudden? Holy shit! What the fuck?
This is a little over
oh my god! It's like, wow! Like, there's a scientist who wanted to leave. Like, Jesus!
Yikes! Yeah, that was a lot.
Seems uncalled for.
Stuff blowing up. It's like Michael Bay directed that.
Yeah, exactly. They brought him in for a scene. Like, oh, your show's great, but I don't know. I think it's missing something. Oh, hello, mother.
I never left.
Yikes.
I would have forgotten anyway.
Oh.
He doesn't forget to be self-deprecating. A Job. It's interesting because I feel like it seems like Mrs. Hawking could have just as easily said, "Oh no, my son came from the future and I killed him. Let me do everything I can to make sure this doesn't happen."
Right. Yeah, she does the opposite of that.
It'd have been interesting to see a turn in her where she was trying to guide him away throughout his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And that sent him to Cambridge. He hurt his brain. And now sending him to the island is the only thing that will fix him. So now she has to sort of sacrifice. It would have been interesting to see an actual change. So now, she, her realizing whatever happened, kind of a thing.
Right. Yeah, that would have been a different story.
Mm-hmm. Then I'll do it. There's no power greater than a mother's guilt and manipulation.
Wait, why did Juliet know the code?
Because she used to live there. In the
What?
future.
What? They just never changed it. It's like a same code
There's
forever.
only one code.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, you can't change the code. Who's ever heard of changing a code?
Wow, that term of security, a little
Yeah.
lax. Uh-oh.
Yeah, but that's not the quite right example to use.
No.
It is
Not
your
the
present,
same.
but it is the world's past. What if it like wasn't really off? He just like falls down.
The old Amy trick. I love it. Like they're packing all this stuff, and like it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You looked at her.
Looky looker.
You looky loo, you. So Hurley's been carrying on this briefcase all
That's
season.
the
We don't know
Ankh.
why, right?
Yeah.
I feel like were we even asking the question? I feel like
I think we did.
Okay.
I think we did. It wasn't like a major mystery, but I think especially once we find out that Jacob gave him it, which is later.
Mm-hmm.
You want Radzinski to calm down?
That's not the real response you should have if he doesn't know anything. He should have taken his word for it because he did just get shot. But instead, he just betrayed that like he knows something.
Right.
And this doesn't help.
Nope.
Phil, what are you doing in my closet, bro?
Hey!
Why'd you tie yourself up like that? That's
Arrest
weird.
him!
I've heard of a hootenanny, but this is ridiculous.
Oh no.
I was just gonna. Does Kate have a pocket? Can she put that gun up?
You know, I've heard that women's clothes don't have pockets.
even if she's wearing like a unisex like work uniform,
they take off the pockets
they
if a
just
woman
take
is
them
going to
off.
put it on.
I thought just there was like a quantum pocketing effect where the pockets.
Yeah. That's what by they I mean quantum physics.
Oh, the royal they.
Exactly. Here we go.
I love how he came at the very last second. He couldn't have come earlier.
I know. And so everything is like, go, go, go! Immediately.
Jack knows about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes. The hatch was enough, but sure.
Yeah. Okay, here's the grand plan.
And
he's gonna undo everything.
Nope. I mean, in a very loose sense, but it was for Ben. It wasn't because the plane crashed, literally. Like, it just seems a little off base there.
Well, it's because the plane crashed and
the failsafe was triggered,
found the swan,
and that's how they found where the island
was.
Yeah. Sure. Uh-oh.
Oh no. I forgot about the rails. I just love how he doesn't ever consider that trying to neutralize energy might be the thing he's responding to.
I think someone brings that up at some point. Like, what if what we're doing is the thing that causes it? And they're just like, shut up.
No time to discuss that.
Exactly.
Yeah, this guy's crazy. Like, he's crazy. This is craziness.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, what he's willing to risk for what? For like 8 people going back to the present? Well, I guess he's trying to reset. He's trying to reset the whole thing.
Yeah.
But he wants to change history and the future by like possibly nucleating the whole island.
Mm-hmm. Ultimately, I think we can't be talking about more than a few hundred people.
Mm-hmm.
No offense. I mean,
sure.
All lives matter, right? Because it's not in my notebook.
He's dead in the recovery room.
Oh, did I say recovery room?
The morgue was full, so we put the dead body in the recovery room. I realize now that was a strange way to tee this up, but sorry for your loss. Just thinking how ridiculous it was that Ben shows up out of nowhere, just starts shooting, trying to kill Penny.
Oh boy.
It's interesting because she says, I think my son's responsible for Desmond, getting shot, but it's really her father. I mean, I'm sorry, the Whitmore, her husband or former husband. Like, so she actually does have a direct, like, thing here. And then this. So this is the reveal that he's the father.
Yep.
Good. Oh, they're brother and sister.
Yep.
I forgot that. Yikes. So this is a Jack and Claire thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what that slap was for.
Well, it's not quite that far.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's like that thing, like, yeah.
Who are these primitive people?
Yeah. These are all like fake huts. Oh God. Oh man, it's like why the way he behaves here is just crazy. It's like put your stupid. I guess they already established he's just like waving this gun around.
Mm-hmm. But he has a bag. I mean,
he should have come in there with his hands up. He'd be less likely to get shot that way.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Like yeah, I guess he's just like he's so desperate to execute the plan. It's like only threats.
Well, and it's a time crunch, right? They only had so much time to make this work. Yeah, this is so dumb.
But like, if he just came in and like with his hands up and talked to them, like,
yeah,
they do bring them to the bomb eventually. So it kind of proves
I love her. Like, she's just like, this is the right thing to do. Like, I shoot a guy in the back.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's a bad way to die, knowing your mom sentenced you to death and also shot you.
Huh?
Wow.
Wow, Eloise, how old are you?
Yeah, what an interesting ending. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I think what annoys me about it is that it just seems so unnecessary. Like, given what happens after this, that they just willingly show them the thing, even after this whole confrontation happens. It just proves that it was pointless, really.
Well, it sets up this scenario where they don't get to have any more expert information about what they have to do next. So Dan's out of the picture. This is his plan, and now he set up the stakes and the goal, but now he's not around for the execution.
Yeah, to actually carry it out and to live with the consequences.
Yeah. The constant, the variable, and the consequences.
Like, theoretically, he could have seen, like when they flash forward in the future, like, oh, that didn't do what I meant.
Yeah, but then he could learn from his mistakes, and like, that's not good.
Ew. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. What a way to die. No,
how about he just walks in, waves a gun around, and gets shot, and he's never alive again.
Yeah.
Because he's dead.
But like, did he do the important thing yet?
No.
So what was the thing she sent him there to do?
I mean, it's I think so. I think we're supposed to believe that that she believed that this. Okay, let's see. Can I explain this? So like, I feel like all of her stuff was with Desmond was supposed to be illustrating that she believes that the timeline is supposed to happen in a certain way, and she's got to make sure that it happens that way. And that's why she steps in, and you don't buy the ring, that whole thing, right? So I feel like it's along those lines where it's like, I shot him, he has to go there so I can shoot him because that's supposed to happen. I think that's what we're supposed to believe. She's just committed to the idea of
But no, she said
predestination or something.
She said no, but the whole scene with him playing music. She's like, no, you can't do music because you have a mind for science and math, and you're gonna do a great thing one day.
I think she's just saying that as manipulation to try to get him to do the thing that she thinks has to happen. Like, I think she knows that that's the path that will lead him there, and that's why she's saying that. I don't think she actually believes he's going to do great things.
But are you saying because there's science and math in the Notebook, she knows he's going to be a scientist or a mathematician?
Pretty much, yeah.
And so she's
I think she's able to, she's able to figure out, basically. I mean, it's a little bit implausible that there's so much in that Notebook. Especially because, like, at a certain point, he's like, this is everything I ever learned about the Dharma Initiative. And so it's like, that can't pertain to certain things. But anyway, putting that aside, Lost is nothing if not inconsistent.
Yeah, so I guess, that's the other thing I guess is in the Notebook is this whole equation about the variables. So she sees this crazy math stuff, and he did some time travel. So maybe she thinks like he invents time travel or something. But it seems like there should have been some idea of him accomplishing something that has to be completed, like, I don't know, saving a bunch of people from an explosion would be a thing that might be important. But I'm a little confused on that whole idea now. I don't know.
I think it's just that there's certain events that must happen, and if you're messing with the timeline, then I have to make sure that that doesn't result in some different outcome, since I know, like,
or maybe the great thing is the time travel. I don't know, I'm confused.
I don't really believe that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe she's proud of his accomplishments, in research and stuff like that, and she thinks that's great. But I really feel like that line is not about, what the real point is.
But see, I think there's supposed to be some importance she's seeing from why the timeline has to go the way it goes.
I think she thinks it's important that the timeline get carried out in a certain way, and that may tie in with, like, how important the island is or something.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. There should be a reason why it's important. Like, not it's just important because that's the way it happened, but it's important.
Yeah, it's important because that's the way it happened, and it pertains to the island. I mean, it seems like there's something there. She told Desmond that pushing the button is the most important thing you'll ever do. So I do think there's an island connection there, but it's important that
wrote about the button in the Notebook.
Apparently, okay. I mean, he could have.
Yeah, he was talking about it. So...
He does know about it. Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, I don't think they. Well, I mean, I think it's a good example of what I would call, kind of an underdeveloped character. Mm-hmm. Possibly even more underdeveloped than Widmore, which is saying a lot. Whose motivations in terms of the island we also don't understand. Mm-hmm. But given the fact that she was another, maybe she still is. I don't know, unclear. But she does help Ben, and so it could be that as another she has some kind of vague loyalty to the island.
Like, is she helping the others get the Losties get to the island because she knows that they go to the island?
I do think that's part of it, yeah.
But she doesn't know when, maybe, right? Or they're supposed to be, because they go to the island after they left in terms of her help. So right. I'm trying to think of how that would be in Desmond's Notebook. Like, if his notebook says, "Hey, I met these Losties."
Yeah.
how does she know they have to go back?
There's no way that could be in the notebook. Yeah. No. I think it's actually a question. We talked about it earlier about like why she wants him to go back to the island so badly. And I thought that there were some indications that there were some outside parties interfering there. Such as the Man in Black, for example. In particular, because of how much emphasis she placed on Locke's dead body, which I know Faraday doesn't know shit about.
Yeah.
So where did that idea come from? So yeah, I think there's something else going on besides Faraday with that thing. But I do think it probably ties into this like others like devotion to the island and what is supposed to happen on the island because the island is an important place.
Oh, maybe that's it. Okay. She's trying to maybe protect the island. He's like, hey, this thing's gonna detonate. You know, it's in his journal how to stop it. So so he's basically saving the island.
Yeah, so maybe you can put it that way. It's like a thing that is supposed to happen, and it does.
Okay, that helps me understand like what her motivation is because she cares about the island.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think so.
I'll buy it. But yeah, it's an interesting episode in terms of where it is in the season. You know, everyone's like, "Oh no, the season's almost over. Let's be in action mode."
Yeah. It just got like turned up to 11 out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was so
like holy
weird.
shit! Like explosions and windshields are cracking, and there's like everyone's just firing guns at each other. It's like, wait, hold on! Like this was like not that big of a deal.
No, it was.
They totally misunderstand this whole situation. It's one of my enduring irritations that they continue to believe this was an incursion by the hostiles. And they never believe anything else.
Yeah, that's Leave It to Dharma.
Yeah, it's like they go to their graves thinking, yeah, God, the hostiles, they're the worst.
Like the worst organization, Dharma.
They're so bad. They're so bad.
All over the place. There's no
top to bottom, like just a fucking mess.
Everyone's doing whatever they want. Nobody knows why they're there.
Yeah. I think like it's a competition between them and the others. You know, I feel like in a way it makes sense that they, well, I don't know, it's almost like they should get along or they should be enemies because of how similar they are. In terms of they're like totally unclear.
They both have no ideology.
No. And yet they act like they do.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they pretend like they're following something, but none of them has any idea what it is.
Yeah, it's like this situational thing where we're here, we got to believe something.
Yeah.
So let's just go along with whatever the status quo is, because like I don't know why I'm here. Like I'm just a janitor. I'm just an other. Like, what do you want from me?
Yeah. Exactly. They tell me to put on a mustache. I put on a mustache.
Like, I'm trying to find the lesson of life here. Like, how is this like life where we, based on our situation alone, we go along with the group?
Yeah, definitely something about group dynamics.
Yeah, we don't really
assimilation.
We don't really seek a goal other than just to get along or something. Yeah. But it is, you know, everyone has a role that plays a thing here too. Yeah, it's and it's like you could see why the others would be desperate for a leader because like they have no ideology.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So if Jacob sent us a leader, it's like, well, finally some you know, wow,
True.
some input from the boss. All right.
Yeah, and since they have no idea what's going on, they have no ability to like question that. It just seems like, you know, Well, he time traveled, and he said he was from Jacob. So,
it seems like there's a very obvious parallel to Christianity. This idea of a Messiah being sent.
Yeah,
and
definitely
performing some miracles.
Yep.
And thereby, their credentials are established.
He even comes back from the dead.
Comes back from the dead. I mean, there it is. So
yeah, no, I think that parallel is definitely there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it goes back to the Immaculate Conception thing his mother said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Locke is bald. Jesus was bald. Locke couldn't walk. Jesus
walked on water.
Walked on water. That's actually the better one. I was gonna. Yeah, Locke could walk. That was his miracle. After not being able to walk, and then Jesus. They both have fathers that were hard on them. That had to teach them hard lessons. Sacrifice them for the greater good. You might be able to say.
You could say that.
You could say that. Yeah.
Sacrifice the island demanded.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was you all along, Locke.
Jesus was pushed out of a window. That makes me think of Game of Thrones. The first book came out in like the 80s, right? Early 90s?
90s, yeah.
90s?
Yeah, like mid-90s.
Did Lost just steal that idea from Game of Thrones? I don't know. Someone getting pushed out of a window, sort of starting a story?
And that's interesting. Yeah. I didn't think about
that. The sort of mystical person being the wheelchair person?
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird. That's a good point. I didn't know about Game of Thrones when Lost started.
Yeah, I know. Wow, look at that. A new idea being introduced to Lost analysis.
Yeah, and I think it's a weird thing because the show didn't exist, the show started like around the time Lost ended.
Yeah.
So there was no way to compare them really. I mean, it didn't seem like Game of Thrones could have influenced Lost. How could that be possible? But yeah, that shit's definitely in the book.
And it's almost like the island is a throne and there's a game of who will control it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Right. Bran is also like to a degree like Walt.
Yep.
Like I think there's some elements in common there as well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a combination of Walt and Locke. Like if Locke was, 8 years old.
Yeah, it's interesting. Trying to find more parallels with Game of Thrones to see how much they ripped off. Yeah,
I mean, I think the Lord of Light thing is kind of like the others in Jacob.
There's a similarity.
I mean, that's a general religion thing, but
yeah, I was thinking of Man in Black and the Night King and the idea of the Night King wants, spoiler alert, the Night King wants to kill Bran, destroy the sort of history of memory of the world, which is kind of what Man in Black wants to do. He wants to basically kill people who know his secret, who know, why he's, killing people will allow him to leave the island if everyone's dead, right? So that kind of thing is interesting.
Yeah, and the Night King was like transformed from being a human into that creature.
There you go. Yep.
So he's sort of like imprisoned in this form, and it kind
that's
of
the thing that would have been cool.
That
would have been cool about the Night King if what was the whole idea of killing Bran should have been a means to an end, right? Like, what's the reason you want to do that? Like what happens to you? What's the benefit to you if the Three-Eyed Raven's dead, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been just made logical sense that this creature, Night King person thing, like wants to be put out of his misery. Like,
Yeah.
it would have been interesting if he had any character development, and we could have found out that, like,
Yeah.
you know, he's cursed with this everlasting life and this sort of death. Like, he sort of can't die normally.
Yeah.
And it would have been interesting to have a character like that who, you know, and it is that thing, right, where like the same way that there's Man in Black and Jacob, and one's preventing the other from getting what they want, you have Bran and the Night King, and one's preventing the other from getting what they want. And it would have been interesting if, like, if he kills Bran, then the Night King could, you know, get what he wants. He can die, or he can be relinquished from his, you know, ice demon form or something, or go back to being a regular man or whatever.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like, I think actually the Man in Black is significantly better developed than the Night King is.
Well, yeah.
You know, I feel like there's problems with the Man in Black character, but yeah, they did at least like do some work on that. So that on that score, I think I think the Man in Black thing works better.
Yeah.
Because I agree. Like, if they had given the Night King anything concrete, it would have been better.
Yep.
Like, as a goal, like it was very frustrating. Even if Bran has to have a vision where he finds out, like, the Night King never talks, but they convey it somehow. You know, like, I just think, you know, like, they wanted that mystique. You know, and a Man in Black has the opposite problem where, like,
he's always talking.
Yeah, he like won't shut up, and it's like they try to keep the mystique by like, oh, he has no name, and like, ooh, what is, you know, but it's like, he's,
you know,
some guy. I mean, what big deal?
Another similarity to Game of Thrones, particularly with or Game of Thrones, is in Lost, is Man in Black being able to take people's form after they're dead is similar to Arya taking people's faces and shapeshifting after they're dead.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, he can like raise them as zombies, but in terms of taking people's form, that's that whole like faceless thing. So that's I think like Littlefinger and Varys are something like the Ben characters. I would say, sort of like Littlefinger is the evil side and Varys is the redeemed side.
Yeah.
Like they both had like trauma in childhood, and you know, grew up to be behind the scenes schemers.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, pretty decent episode. You know, I mean, season 5 is weird. It's such a weird season.
Yeah.
It was definitely an abrupt turn to get to this one and be like, oh no, Dan's on the sub. All hell's breaking loose.
Yeah. It was a game changer because he showed up with like, and it is like, if it was so fucking urgent, why didn't you come like a week earlier? Like, what are you doing? Like,
if you think I could go a week early, you think I was waiting?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I you know, the sub only comes when it comes, I guess.
I'm sure, but still though, it's just like, it's cutting it close to be like, okay, we gotta go, and it's like, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's not that simple. Like, if they had time to sneak around and stuff, but it's like, you know, it's efficiency. Like, they're ending the storyline. They're like, fine, we can just escalate the Dharma situation like to the max. Like, there's no chance they can just resume life here.
No.
Like, ever. You know it's over.
Yeah.
And you know, I was satisfied by it, but at the same time it is like ridiculously abrupt. Like, they go from like normal life to like Michael Bay in one episode. Like, the Phil thing was nothing compared to what happens in this episode.
No. Yeah, I love when Rosiski's like shot and he's like, hey, we've been infiltrated. Sora's like, that's crazy. It's like, no, that's the wrong lie, dude. Like, no, you should be like, oh no, we've been infiltrated. Those darn hostiles, huh? Like,
yeah, you know how they are. Come on.
I assume it must be the hostiles because I don't know who else it could be.
Who else is there?
Yeah, that was a weird one. But yeah, again, Rowan Rosinski's character, he's just this crazy, like,
just a blank, pointless antagonist. Like,
yeah,
he just exists to cause problems. He just every time he's on screen, it's like he's a problem. There's no character there.
He's there to push the conflict,
Exactly.
But he doesn't actually want anything.
Yeah, there's nothing interesting about his character on any level. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Like I just I don't know. I mean, it would be bad no matter what, but I feel like it just drags Radzinski's name into the mud.
It would have been nice.
Ruins it.
It would have been nice for him to say, the Swan Station is gonna be the 8th wonder of the world, or how many wonders are there? However many wonders there are, plus one.
Plus one, yeah.
And this is my crowning scientific achievement. This is my every science prize is going to be mine once we complete this Swan Station. Something to show why he cares. I mean, we know he cares, right? But since it's not attached to anything on a character level, then it just seems like it just seems empty and sort of petty and acerbic and and so it'd been great if he had made all of this personal, and it would have helped to make it clear that one of the reasons Dharma seems dysfunctional and ununified in their goals, they could say, is all these different scientists are competing with each other for Dharma's interest or time or resources. And they, as in a general research field, right, that people could relate to, that they all have to prove their point. Pierre Chang thinks what he's doing at the Orchid is the most important thing, and Rosinski thinks what he's doing at the Swan is the most important thing. And
God forbid they explore the internal research dynamics. Like,
like the people at the mini island, what's it called?
Hydra.
The Hydra Island think that's the most important thing. You've got everybody at every station except the Arrow, which was just the storage shed,
right?
Thinks what they're doing is critical, important work. And Dharma is this overall interdisciplinary. It was like I'm missing a syllable.
There it is.
Organization, right? Which is how they set it up, right? Like that's part of how they portrayed it. But without that idea of but why aren't they looking for the same thing? It would have been, and this would have been a nice little way to show a little rivalry. Chang could have said something, like when Dan is trying to convince him of whatever he was trying to convince him of earlier, and he's like, I don't have time for this. Rosinski's gonna break ground on the Swan before I break ground on the Orchid, and I can't have that, or something. We're already behind schedule and we have to, blah, 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 something. So, just these little moments where they could have fleshed these characters out a bit and sort of made it make a little bit more sense, where in terms of where the characters were coming from.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, that's the kind of thing that would have made Dharma more interesting than it is. Because we get very little of any kind of substance or interest in terms of the actual like mission. Like, I think like it's interesting in a way to see like the lower level aspects of Dharma, I guess. I don't mind that they showed that per se, but it is weird to like never show like really what the main point is. Of Dharma being there. Like, they didn't go there, no offense, like they didn't go there to like mop the floor. I mean, that's like,
Yeah.
that's not the main goal there.
Yeah.
So it's bizarre, and it's too bad. I think part of it is just that the main characters aren't participating in it. I think the Faraday thing was an opportunity to have a main character do something significant, and they totally squandered it. They just put him off screen for most of the season, and as soon as he comes back, he's just like, fuck all this, like, we're gonna go blow some shit up.
He should have been working at the Swan Project or something this season. He could have been integrated. I don't know why he had to be. I mean, obviously they needed him off screen, but that's why he was in Ann Arbor. But just say Dan's working at the Swan. Say we don't have to see him every episode, but he's still on the island, whatever. But he's doing all of his research there at the station.
Yeah.
Or where the station's going to be built, or wherever Rosinski works. The other thing I was going to say is the smoke monster. We never see the smoke monster in this period, right?
No, they never show it in the 70s.
So it's even weird. Though the reason there's a sonic fence,
oh no,
is because Dharma builds a sonic fence to keep the smoke monster out, but we never see a smoke monster attack during this period of time.
Yes.
Good.
That is correct.
That's the best way to write it.
Yeah, I thought that was weird, and I think I remember talking about that like a long time ago, and I remember wondering like why if they thought it was like too much smoke monster to have it, because in the present storyline is like there's a lot of smoke monster because it's the fucking smoke monster as a main character. But I do think it's kind of missing. They did have the smoke monster with the gin thing and the Russo story, so they had it during the time travel. Like the smoke monster was there.
I see, but not actually at the sonic fence.
But and not in the 70s.
And I was thinking like maybe one reason not to show the smoke monster 70s is so you don't get the audience confused about that character.
Right.
Like is this him from the future? How does it relate to the past?
Yeah. Like he does end up manipulating the time travel, but I think I don't know. I guess like part of the problem too is that like they're playing a game with concealing that it is the smoke monster, and so they're aiming for a surprise, and I think it's I would like to know more about what he's thinking about this shit in the 70s, but to tell us anything would be to give things away. So I think I feel like they kept him off screen because they didn't actually want to show him doing anything to potentially like contribute something, to that storyline.
Yeah, I can buy that. But I was gonna say, if we did see the smoke monster in the 70s, it'd probably like have like a bad wig and like bell bottoms, right? Like, so we can know that it was the 70s version.
Yeah, no, I want to see that. Let's see how that works. Flying smoke monster with bell bottoms.
Gotta love it. That's a good band name. All right. Well, we got a couple episodes left, and we're down to the wire. So, but yeah, Dan's death is super weird. I still don't like how the whole loop works, and worst mother ever, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think you're right that the other way of writing it would have made her more sympathetic if it was no, she wants to make sure he doesn't go to the island, but then it turns out it's the only way to cure his condition. I think that would have been more relatable, like that she has to like make her peace with the fact that either like he's just like sitting around crying at stuff on TV for no reason, or he goes back to the island and you take your chances.
Maybe maybe that's what they were getting at with him, his memory issues and his crying is, the thing that gave him the memory issues was his time travel experiments, right?
Yeah.
So maybe this idea that his consciousness of the future,
It's
that
like Hodor.
it's Hodor, yeah, his conscious of the future, which knows about the island stuff, was sort of subliminal, and because of the damage to his brain, and so he was that memory was underneath, his consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
before he actually ever went to the island. So maybe that's the idea.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
has this sort
yeah.
of subconscious memory of the island and the plane crash and all that stuff. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
It does, it does. And I remember even talking about that kind of idea. I just think they don't quite say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But it's totally plausible. It makes more sense than just like
I think we solved it. I think
crying
that's
at
the
random
answer.
things.
I think it makes sense with
Yeah.
all the available information.
I think it's the most reasonable answer, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll buy that. We gotta
Yeah.
solve one mystery.
Jeez. The big mystery is, why are we watching? Because it's like life. We have no choice.
Yeah, exactly. We chose our fate, and now we're just living with the consequences.
Fait accompli.
Speaking of French.
Is that French? I thought it was Latin.
Yeah, well, it comes from Latin, but yeah,
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I think the phrase is French. I mean, the origin in English. Anyway, yeah, it's Latin too.
The English origin is French when the French origin is Latin.
Exactly. There you go.
I'll buy it. I'll buy that for $1.
Cool.
RoboCop reference.
Okay. Got it. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, I like to
remember that.
Quote random movies every now and then.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So then we have Jughead. They're setting up this idea of exploding Jughead. So now, we find the reason out why there's even a Jughead to be
Chekhov's Jughead.
Chekhov's Jughead.
Yeah, definitely. It should have been clear. I think we said that back when we did that commentary. It's like, yeah, they're not just gonna randomly tell us about this and go like, okay, moving on. That's part of the plan for the season.
Yeah,
they clearly had that plan. But I do wonder. I guess we know more than we'll never know about a show like Twin Peaks or something, but. I remember seeing like a little storyboard. Maybe storyboard. No, storyboard is not the right word. Storyboard is like when you show like shots, right? That's a totally different thing. It was like a very brief plot outline for some stuff from season 5, and it was from like some magazine story. And you saw in it like some stuff about what would happen when Locke time travel, when he turns the donkey wheel, and it was stuff that was like different from what they actually ended up doing. It was weird. I forget. It was like Widmore. Let's see. Widmore kidnaps him. No, yeah, Widmore kidnaps him, and then he's saved by Sayid. I think that happened. Anyway, it was some stuff they never did, and it really showed, I think, that even, up to a point, and that might have been even before they started like filming for the season or whatever, they're just like mapping it out or something, like spitballing the general ideas. But I kind of wonder what that process was and what they were thinking overall, like if they ever had other plans. For example, what we were looking at in this episode with Faraday, like, did they have like a different thing in mind at some point? and then decide to go with this, like, how, what sort of practical considerations maybe of the way, it's like you make certain plot decisions and then other ones kind of have to follow that.
Yeah.
I wonder like how much of that sort of played it, because there's something about it that's really awkward. And it just makes me, it feels like something that was done for efficiency and possibly just to make other things work the way they wanted.
It's almost like they only had Jeremy Davies for like 4 episodes this season.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. For example, like that was a constraint.
It feels like there's some production constraint that made some of the things with this season a bit less organic than normal.
Yeah, exactly. Like I wish there was a way we could know that stuff like in detail, if there was like a tell-all book or something, or when we get them on the podcast someday. I'm sure they'll be there in podcast 200 or whatever the last one is.
I think that's a good one to go out on.
Yeah.
Carlton and Damon, now explain yourselves.
Yeah. Okay, let's now begin.
Yeah,
beginning.
Like we don't ask any other questions. We just let them explain themselves.
I would really like to hear that. Explain yourself. Go.
You have 2 hours. I'm sure they'd love that.
That's a great thing to hear from a podcaster for a show you did 10 years ago.
Right?
Explain yourself.
Explain yourself. And Damon's like, I'm doing The Watchmen right now. Carlton's like, I do 15 TV shows.
Yeah. I got so many. Did you see Bates Motel? That's over.
The Colony? Anyone?
Done with it.
All right.
I did the Les Revenants remake that got canceled after 1 season.
Yeah, nobody wanted that.
Nobody needed that.
No.
Season 2 was bad anyway, so it's probably for the best.
Yeah, it's they've probably forgotten a lot of things about the show. So.
Yeah, that's probably true at this point. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the cool thing about. Of course, I'm sure that. That's the thing about the Twin Peaks thing. Like, they Mark Frost and David Lynch were speaking on Skype. Theoretically, that could have been saved.
It wasn't.
I'm sure. I was just thinking it. I'm sure it wasn't. But it could have been.
Could have been.
Whereas it seems less likely that writers' room discussions were saved in any way. So it would just be like what they remember. The plan for Echo, like that's an example of something where they were willing to say that they had a different plan. The actor wanted to leave, and so they just wrote it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. What an interesting.
So yeah, this season is a fucking mess. I definitely think the signs are there. The people. It's Game of Thrones is like such a great illustration of like a similar phenomenon where it's like you should have known already by this point that you're going to be disappointed in the final season. Like it should have been clear. Like look at what's happening right now and like think about it for a second.
Is there any show that gets better after it goes downhill? Can you think of a show that like had a bad season or two and then got better? I mean, besides like not an anthology show, but like a procedural show.
Yeah. I was just gonna say like The Wire season 2 is like it isn't bad actually, but like the other seasons are better. So it's a bit weird. Like kind of an anomaly. But I don't know if that really counts because it is like quasi procedural show.
Yeah, maybe.
Like each season has its own thing, basically. But it's also like season 2.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's not unreasonable for 2 to be not great.
Yeah, like that's not the same as this kind of like late late era show like decline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do they recover from that? Like, yeah, I don't think so. Like Mad Men, and I mean, yeah, Mad Men is not an example of doing that.
Nope.
There's a lot of examples of shows just getting worse.
I feel like Battlestar Galactica maybe almost qualifies. Because I kind of remember season 3 not being great, and then the beginning of season 4 being really good.
I think you're right. I think season 3 is kind of lackluster compared to the first two. Yeah, it's true. But season 4, it does have some good stuff, but
and then it has got some stuff. So yeah, it doesn't quite work.
It doesn't maintain it, but yeah, it's true that it's better for a time. So, they can have little blips there. But yeah, I'm not sure if they can ever like return to full form.
I love Battlestar Galactica's ending. We were Cylons the whole time.
All of us, literally.
All of us. We're literally Cylons.
You're all Cylons. You're welcome.
You're welcome. What's a Cylon? Oh, sorry.
Shut up. I gotta go.
Go watch Caprica if you want to find out that. Watch the spin-off.
Yeah, Caprica. Even a bigger disappointment.
It tried so hard, man. That show was really trying.
It was. They couldn't. I mean, it's not entirely their fault, but
yeah, it was. I think it would have got there. It was starting to coalesce, into being about something.
yeah, it did kind of take forever.
It just took forever because there's so many elements to sort of set up, and then it seemed like right when it's got its feet under itself.
Yeah.
They got canceled.
Yeah. The Shape of Things to Come montage is like the ultimate efficiency is coming. Like, like holy shit, let's do like 8 plot points in 35 seconds. Like go. Like, and this thing, and this thing. It's like, this is what you're missing out on a show that will never happen.
It's kind of a tease. Yeah,
it really is.
We were going to do this, and we were going to do that, and we were going to do this.
It's so disappointing. It's like, here's some things you'll just never see properly come to fruition. Oh well,
as they say.
TV is just like that,
Yeah.
It's like it's what's that thing from? Is that from Batman or something? You either die hero, or how does the end? Or you live long enough to become the villain, or something. Like that?
Live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah, there you go. I feel like TV shows are kind of like that. It's like they end early and they go out. They have this like glorious like where they went out on a high note and there's the possibility of what could have been. That's like Twin Peaks, basically.
Yep.
Or they stay around long enough to get shitty, and then it's just like, oh, well, I guess we saw what happened later.
Yeah, which is better?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like you lose either way in that case, which is kind of the point of the quote.
Lose once, shame on me. Lose twice, shame on you.
But that's TV, And actually, I was gonna say, we talked about it. It's my contention that long form stories are just like never end properly or satisfyingly or whatever. And you brought up Lord of the Rings, and I'm on record for having serious problems with the ending of Lord of the Rings. But,
what?
Have you ever heard that before?
Never.
But even putting that aside, I do think that the reality of TV is different from books. You know?
For sure.
And so I think with books, it's more doable.
Yeah.
Because
you can fix it.
You can fix it. Yeah.
Yep.
It makes a huge difference.
Yep.
There's just the practicality of the way TV is produced. I think like it's a quicker time frame and they got to churn that shit out, and they have a certain number of episodes, and they have like location, they have like shit they have to worry about, and I think all of that can lead to difficulties in building to a really good ending.
Yeah, and it's really more, the analogy is more a TV show should be to, like a book series, because there's all these independent stories that you have to set up and maintain. But yeah, that's the thing. Paying off something like that is tough. So
yeah, and I do think like book series, can also be disappointing, but there is more room to fix things, definitely, within each book, which is like a much larger unit of story than what they work on, which is really like an episode at a time, with like a general outline that they clearly improvise on depending on what happens.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, that's just TV is what it is, and
no, TV is what I tell it to be. All right.
Yikes.
Which is to be what it is. So.
Oh, okay.
Cool. All right. Well, until next time, thanks and namaste.
Namaste and good luck.